John is not broke because there's this narrative that he lived off Shannon, that Shannon was the sugar mama and he was just using her for money. So he wants to first say, she says that if he was broke, why would he ever offer to give me money? And two, he was is not a fame whore because apparently he offered to give her whatever they were paying her not to film. So he apparently didn't want her on the show so much that he said, I'll give you the exact same salary that Bravo is giving you to not film the show. Now, how do you feel about this? Because I feel and that proves that A, he's not a fame whore because he didn't want me on the show, and B, it proves that he has money. Well, I mean, I think we know he has money. He lent Shannon $75,000 for her facelift.
I was actually uncertain about his money situation.
Yeah, I'm
So,
not sure he has a lot of money. Let me back up that car. He ain't no Kyle Richards.
right. I mean, I don't even know what he does or he did. I need to go and look that up. I did
Mm-hmm.
find that curious about the interview, that seemed to be a real headline and a real sticking point for her because okay, I guess like what an odd thing to talk about. Like, oh, John offered me full salary to not stay on the show. I'm gonna look
And
up. Do you know
and
what John Jansen did for work? I think he's retired.
no, and I mean, look, there's rumors about him that he's like a dirty John, and he went from Shannon to the next that he get him in line behind Louis Realias. But the thing about John, also, yeah, and I don't think he has like a ton of money, but the thing about John also is like, or how like when you want to prove a point, but you really don't mean it. Like, how many times have you said to someone like, well, if you just don't do that, like, I mean, I've said to people before, like, I just don't want to go or whatever. I'll still pay for the ticket or, you found someone for the ticket. I don't have to pay you. Great. Like, like, have you ever like offered money for something and you didn't really mean it and then you never really got called on it? I have.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
just like that. Like, oh, like, I'm sorry, I'm canceling. I just have so much work and like, I'm going to pay you for the ticket. You're going with two other people. So like, this ticket, I'm fine. I'm going to give you the money. You didn't waste the money. I just don't want to go. I'm going to throw it out the window. Oh, wait, what do you mean? You found someone to go? I don't have to give you the money. I would have. And you would have, but you don't really want to, and you didn't really mean the gracious act. So like, first of all, just because John said, like, I'll give you the money not to show up, does that really mean that he was about to do that for real? Write a check to your girlfriend slash fiance? I don't
He's a
buy it.
partner in a very successful insurance firm, by the way. And he still has a LinkedIn profile for anyone that wants to go there. And he lists himself as the president and partner at Wood, Gutman, and Bogart Benefits Insurance. I got to get into insurance. Like people make a lot of money in insurance, apparently.
Oh, so does he do the same type of insurance? And we got to talk. We have a little bit of a snafu in the insurance business in the OC with Miss Gunvalson. But is he in the same type of insurance as Miss Gunvalson? I'd like to know. Competitor, perhaps?
I think so. I think so.
Oh.
The last thing about this John Jansen and Alexis Bellino, John also seems to make a real point that he like really, really tried with Shannon. And that it just felt like every single day they were failing at everything. That's what
Drunk
it felt like
Shannon. Everyone
later.
believes drunk Shannon.
Yeah, like he says, quote, I tried very, very hard. I did, but we were never meant to be together. He said that about their 3.5 year relationship. What do you think?
He did, and he does say, I mean, he goes on to gush about Alexis. Alexis is a great mother. She's a great this. I mean, I think I kind of, it doesn't mean that he's not a fame whore, but I get that I believe him. I don't think he liked Shannon. Again, my advice for Shannon as she heads into Love Hotel versus a very young Ashley Darby, a very gorgeous Giselle Bryant, and I don't even need to comment on Luann. I mean, watch the fuck out. Bring your happy face, Shannon, because if you show up in this villa or wherever the fuck it's going to be with Luann, who, I mean, at 60 years old, it looks like drop dead in a bikini. And Luann is a good fucking time. I have been out with her all summer. She is so much fun. And I mean that in the, like, Move on. So if Shannon was sourpuss Shannon during this fucking relationship, I am sure that he was not happy to be with her, nor would anybody be happy to be with her, except I guess Jeff fucking Leviss. But I mean, he has his own sadness issues too at times. So two peas in a pod, maybe? I don't know.
Wow. Jeff
You
loves you,
got
by the
me.
way.
I
I do.
love
You brought it up.
Jeff.
Mr. Lewis raved about how successful Behind the Velvet Rope and David Yontef are. So he said, "Oh yes, David Yontef has a very successful podcast." What a great shout out to all the chumps.
And I love Jeff Lewis for that. And
I like Jeff.
I
I could
mean,
name
yeah,
a
I
few
like him.
Jeff.
I'm just, I mean, look, he's not a downer. Like, I mean, I could see why John, it didn't seem like he liked Shannon, and that's
Yeah.
okay. There's someone else out there for you, Shannon. That's the good news. I'm sorry. I'm just giving her tough love. Like, you have a great opportunity, which you're actually being paid for. I mean, to go on this event. A
You,
lot of money.
I feel like we've seen in an entirely different Shannon Bedore. I mean, if Shannon shows up with the attitude that she has brought to RHOC, I think she's going to do terrific because
Yes.
she showed up humble, self-deprecating, available for every scene. And I mean,
Looking great. She looks great.
amazing. And she goes right in that room with Alexis, who, Alexis and John are flaunting their love. Maybe they are madly in love. This is it. They've really found each other. And, you know, Shannon moves on. But I hope Shannon brings it the way she's bringing it on RHOC because she's doing a terrific job. I like her this season a lot.
I agree. And I do think that John wasn't happy with her. And I do think that he's happy with Alexis. And so is he a fame whore? I don't know. Doesn't it seems like he could be, but she says no, and I guess time will tell. And yes, Shannon doesn't want you, so you shouldn't want him. You have a great attitude this season. And just like Lindsay Hubbard, you have dodged a bullet, girl. Your whole
No.
life is in front of you. Speaking of which, did you see Carl is going to open a sober bar? It's so funny. At a Hamptons party 2 weeks ago, I ran into his business partner in this bar. And I forgot her name, but the name of the bar is called Soft Bar Cafe. He is opening it, I believe, in Brooklyn, and it is going to be a non-alcoholic bar serving mocktails and I guess non-alcoholic wine and beer, and it's called Soft Bar Cafe. So what do we think about this? A lot of people have weighed in on the name, but they've also weighed in on the name, something about her and Schwartz and Sandy's, and here we are.
I think a sober bar is a wonderful concept, but I think it is a very hard concept. They're not going to serve any alcohol at all?
No, and that, I mean, no, and that was my thing. Now, I do have to, because everyone thinks I have my Hampton stories. Even Melissa Rivers called me out the other day for on air for being that girl that talks about Hamptons all the time. But I don't know where you want me to say I am. But in my building in LA, I have a friend, Polly, shout out to Polly. And when we go out